Hi, I'm Ron Ferrell. We're here at Tiki Oasis 2018, and I'm here with my friend Humuhumu, who has some great website information, Critique. And so how did you come up with the Critique whole website thing?
Well, when I first started to learn about tiki bars and Polynesian restaurants, I was living in Seattle, and they were gone from Seattle, the old ones were.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go see them, and that was going to mean traveling. And so I started to collect together information about what was where and what was important and why. And I'm a programmer, so I stuck it in a database because that's just what I do.
That's beyond me, but I'm glad you were able to do it.
So I realized as I was doing that, this is something that could have value to a lot of people, and I decided to turn it into a website and make it a place where other people could share their experiences and their stories, and I could learn through them about these places that I wasn't able to see in person right off the bat. So that was 15 years ago now, more than 15 years ago now.
And it's pretty cool because, there was some books. Well, originally the book of Tiki was Sven Kirsten, but it's a static book. So to have somebody actually come in and say, oh, here's this book, but there might be a little bit more out there, or maybe we want to see some more information about it. So you were able to do some things on your own and then collect information from other people too, right?
Yeah, well, and I've done all kinds of weird ways to learn about places out there. Of course, Tiki Central had a lot of information, and phone directories, literally just going to especially back in 2002, you had like the online version of the Yellow Pages, and just kind of go searching for Tiki, or go on Google search and do Tiki restaurant, this location, Polynesian restaurant, such and such location. You can't really do that now. You get an avalanche of too much stuff, but back in the early days, that's how you could find stuff. And I also pretty quickly became friends with collectors, and a lot of them would just have parties where we go to their house and sit on the floor and look at postcards and menus.
Was there cocktails involved too?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yes,
All
always.
Approve. I approve.
And so you learn about old places that way too, and then I wanted to get those images scanned and in Critique so everybody could see the history of these places as well. I think it's also worth mentioning Tiki Road Trip. So Tiki Road Trip was done by James Teitelbaum, and he came out with that book while I was in development on Critique, but before I had launched it. And I saw him announce his book. I was like, oh no, I can't launch this and take away this guy's thunder. And James has been researching
for a long time.
Much longer than me. I was just a Johnny-come-lately. So what I did is I did old school copy protection on it, and I said for the first couple of years that Critique was up, if you wanted to get access to the address information and some other stuff, then if you wanted to rate places, you needed to prove that you had already bought James's book.
Oh, that's a good idea.
By going
that's
to such and such page, such and such paragraph, third word, what's the word, entered in here.
Well, I think, well, it's the whole courtesy of the tiki world is like nobody wants to take away somebody else's thunder. And everybody's, really good about sharing information and being encouraging of what other people are doing, whether it's, help with cocktails or bar information or whatever it is, which has been, supporting of everybody, our friends and people that will eventually become friends, which is why we love Tiki Oasis too.
Another point about James's book, since I was right in the middle of collecting all this information, certainly I could have just dumped his book into my database. I did not do that. So I love James. He's a really dear friend, but I've never read the book because I want what I say to be a separate voice.
And not influence so much, like repeating line for line of what somebody else has done.
We probably are both pulling from the similar primary sources, so there's got to be some overlap, I imagine. But yeah, so that's a nice thing too. I think it's nice to have multiple voices out there. James came out with a second edition of his book about 10 years ago now. So those are fun to track down. Get another voice. Find Tiki Road Trip.
Yes, an excellent book, and I think he did it on like a flash drive or something. The second one?
That's Big Stone Head.
Oh, Big Stone Head.
Big Stone Head about Rapa Nui. He went to Rapa Nui.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He's quite a traveler.
One of my dream trips. So someday, I hope to go. But yeah, and then also besides Critique, you've done something else too, or was that it?
I have
Ugamuga, the
Ugamuga,
mug.
which is for collecting, people who collect mostly tiki mugs.
Tiki
and
mugs,
stuff.
yeah.
But critique is my first love. And critique is why I'm here today.
Yeah, and there's so many great images, and adding to the history of the whole tiki world, and stuff that you thought you'd seen everything, and then you've come up with something new that hasn't been seen before.
It's amazing. I had this great experience. I have a talk that I give to the bar industry, and I was running it past Jeff Berry, who's a cocktail historian, the cocktail historian, when it comes to tiki cocktails. And I wanted to run the talk past him to make sure that I wasn't wrong.
Wrong information.
Because, a lot of what we know comes through thanks to Jeff. I wanted his sign off, and as I was giving the talk, I showed an image that a user of Kritiki's, his sign name is Tattoo. He uploaded it. It's a 1937 menu from Don the Beachcomber.
Oh wow!
And Jeff had never seen a menu that old. And it had zombie on the menu, and it was the first time that he'd seen actual proof of it being on the menu. What he had before that was notes from bartenders' books, and they would say that it was old, but there's no dates on it. This actually has a copyright date on the menu.
That's pretty
We had a
darn
moment.
cool.
We had to stop. We had to stop and have a little moment. It was very exciting, and it was super exciting to get to be there and share that moment with Jeff, of all people,
Yes.
who's done so much research on this stuff, to introduce him to something new, thanks to one of Kritiki's members. It's wonderful, these contributions.
He's probably part of the reason why we have all these great cocktail bars now.
Oh yeah.
Tiki related and not. So.
Yeah. We wouldn't be drinking these wonderful cocktails if it weren't for Jeff's hard work.
Yes.
All those bars he had to go to, all those bartenders he had to befriend.
Somebody had
pretty
to do
rough.
it. Yes.
Pretty rough.
Yes. So is there anything else you want to add?
Oh, well, I'm here at Tiki Oasis this year. I'm doing a symposium called Tiki Morning Coming Down. It's not, I can get really nerdy about the history, and I don't want to do that to people. I want it to be an easy morning symposium where people who've had a rough morning, rough morning, can come in, and we're going to look at just a bunch of pictures that people have submitted to Kritiki. I've got about 100 images, and we'll talk about each one of them. We'll see how many we get through.
That sounds awesome, though.
Yeah, we'll just kind of see the little details. I'll point out the things that I notice about these images and talk about why I love them. And it's mostly vintage images from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and a few modern images that people have submitted from places that may not be on people's radar, some kind of far-flung tiki locales that they may not know about, and can visit them together.
That sounds cool.
With our hangovers.
Yeah. Hangover, I'm not sure what that is, but there might be a couple of people here with a hangover. So, well, thank you very much. And I'm Ron Ferrell, and with Humuhumu, and we're here on Tiki Oasis TV, and I hope you guys all have a great Tiki Oasis, and aloha from us.
Aloha.